Oh, you have a timer now.
I thought it'd be nice to know how long we're going.
Oh, cool.
So I don't have to go, Brian, how long are we going? Good morning, Brian. It's Wednesday. How are you doing?
Wait, this isn't a Vlogbrothers video.
Hilarious. Stealing other people's intros is funny.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going, guys? This is the podcast
Yep.
of the Brothers Game Variety
Uh-huh.
with your fabulous hosts, Nicolai,
And Brian.
which is me, not the Brian one, the other one.
Right.
How's it going, Brian?
It's going good.
We've been going for 38 seconds. Is it over yet?
No.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I actually wanted to start with a correction.
Oh. Right. Yeah, you talked about this.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
tell me about this.
I was talking about the differences between the battle systems of the FF7 remake and the original FF7.
Right.
And, of course, anybody who's actually played the original games will know that you do not queue up your actions and then wait for the timer to run out for them to
Right.
be performed. You wait for the time and then you perform your
You
actions.
can do it immediately.
So
Yeah.
in that case, in that respect, they are the same. The difference is how in the original games you just sit and wait, and it
Right.
only takes a second or two. Whereas in the
Right.
new game, it's extremely slow unless you're attacking your enemy.
So it's just a different length of time for the bar, mostly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's fairly similar.
Yeah, so like if you're attacking a lot, you can actually make it go up faster, I think, even than in the original game. But if you're not attacking at all, it goes up incredibly slow.
Interesting.
And then
I've still yet to play it. So
yeah, I also compared the normal and classic difficulties, and the only difference is that in classic mode, your character auto attacks and auto defends.
Oh, interesting.
Which I guess the
that just makes
idea
it
is
easier?
so that all you have to do is focus on spells
The menu
and stuff like that,
basically.
and your character will do everything else for you.
Interesting. There's a lot of online, like it reminds me of those crappy, like battle app games.
Oh
Where you'll
yeah,
have like a squad and they auto attack and you just do other stuff.
it's funny.
That's interesting.
Because sometimes they're smarter than you are.
Yeah. You're like, oh, that was a good move.
Like sometimes I'm like, my allies are doing a better job of avoiding
Yeah, I
dying
suck.
than I am, so
Yeah.
maybe
Interesting. Yeah, auto in RPGs is always weird. Mm-hmm. Like Persona 4 does that.
Yeah.
Did you ever use that when you played Persona 4?
I think I did for a little bit, and then I didn't like what they were doing,
Yeah.
and I pretty quickly stopped it.
It really depends on the enemy for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes on low level enemies I know I can easily beat. I'll just do it because I know my normal attacks will be fine. But
I think in games where everything is real time, it's really helpful to have your allies auto do stuff because then you don't have to do all this micromanaging.
otherwise it's like kind of
yeah.
overwhelming. Feels
But
like. But
if you have all the time in the world to make all your decisions, then I see no reason to not do everything manually.
yeah. So now that you've played more modern RPGs also,
Mm-hmm.
do you still prefer the slower paced, like turn-based RPGs that are kind of in the olden days?
The pace is actually the thing I like.
Right.
So there are things I don't like about it. I don't like random encounters very much.
Mm-hmm.
The more games I play without them, the more I realize
more you
how
realize
much I
you don't.
dislike them.
Yeah, totally. I get that.
But I do like the pacing of a turn-based game. I
like a slow game.
I like
kind of.
time to think.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Paper Mario, our
yeah.
favorite game.
Yeah, exactly.
It
All the time in the
actually has
world.
both of those things. It has
Yeah.
no random encounters, but it also is turn-based.
Yeah. And yeah, that does pretty much describe the kind of RPG I like also.
Yeah.
So.
So I haven't played FF13, and you have. But
Yes.
in FF12, you had to
I'm making a gagging face.
yeah.
Ugh.
Whenever you opened the menu, it paused the game. Basically, it froze time.
Right.
In FF7 Remake, it doesn't freeze time. It just really slows it down. It's kind of like bullet time. And
So it's like super hot, basically. That's a game. Anyway.
And so I was talking to you about this before, but in the fight with Sephiroth, when you slow down time like that,
Oh, dude, I can imagine.
it is so he like just appears out of
coming at
nowhere
ya.
and is like slashing at you.
Yeah.
And just watching him like phase out of reality and just
Sick.
appear out of nowhere is pretty cool, actually. So I recommend
That's pretty sick.
when you're fighting Sephiroth, just
get cool
just
shots.
open the menu just for that, just to watch him.
I mean, that's what they want
be
in,
right about
in
to pummel you.
Final Fantasy games now. It's just like a movie. Like,
Yeah.
these awesome cinematic shots and stuff.
It's funny. Someone was talking about how it looks like in FF7 Remake they're trying to bridge the gap a little bit between Advent Children and the original FF7.
Oh yeah,
Because there's a lot of comments about how Advent Children kind of makes no sense.
yeah, right. It does.
There's a lot of plot points that don't seem to be explained at all. But my counter to that is I've seen many film or animated movie or spin-off things that involve the same characters and setting, but an original story that has nothing to do almost with the original story.
That's what I pictured.
So I'm so
Children
used to that
also.
that it didn't seem weird when I watched Advent Children. I'm like, oh, this is just.
This doesn't perfectly line up with FF7. It's
They
duh.
just decided to write a new story with existing characters and setting.
Yeah, I that's how I saw it too.
Yeah.
But I guess if they want to connect them, that's fine. But
Which I guess it sounds like that's kind of the idea. But then there's also been comments from the creators that the only canon for the FF7 universe is the original game and the remake. And then someone's like, "Oh, I guess bye Crisis Core."
yeah, sorry, Crisis Core. Rip and Dirge of Cerberus, which everyone forgets about.
The oft forgotten
the
FF7
Vincent game. I actually enjoyed Crisis Core. I remember I played it when the PSP was new-ish.
Yeah,
and actually kind of enjoyed it.
Someone was comparing the voice actors who have played Sephiroth, who, by the way, have both played Superman. So apparently, only people who have played Superman can voice Sephiroth.
That's funny.
But so I was actually watching a video that just compared the two voices, the new guy and the guy who's done Sephiroth in Crisis Core and all of the Kingdom Hearts games that have Sephiroth.
I've liked him. He's been good. Did he do it in Remake also?
No, so in Remake it is a different person.
Okay. So that's what they're comparing, yeah.
Yeah. And so the voice in the Remake is creepier and like more ethereal, which I think fits Sephiroth really well. The other voice was more cunning and more direct. No, that's not the word I'm looking for, but it was kind of scary in a I'm in control and kind of way.
Like
whereas the other one,
like a businessman who's in control.
Whereas the new voice is more like
I'm a god.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that's the gap between like the two sides of Sephiroth though.
Yeah.
It's like there's the soldier guy, Sephiroth, who's like a mentor to Cloud basically.
Yeah.
And then there's the one-winged angel god version of Sephiroth.
Yeah.
So I mean, that kind of makes sense that you would have both. And how both are kind of good in their own way. Yeah, I liked the Kingdom Hearts one.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. Interesting. I still got to play a remake. I haven't touched it yet.
Well, and the Remind DLC.
And the Remind DLC. Yep, those are still up there for me.
Yeah.
What else have you been playing? Anything?
So I actually don't think I've played a video game since our last recording.
Dang.
So I got.
What are you gonna play?
I have a couple. So I got my emulators all set. So
we're like, we don't really play video games.
Yeah, because of my Raspberry Pi dying, I wanted to get a few extra games for my emulators on my computer. So I made sure those are all set up and working the way I want them. And I have an FF6 ROM loaded and and then Pokemon Diamond.
Oh right, yeah, you wanted to play that.
I have started Pokemon Diamond, I think 3 or 4 times, and I just never actually play it for very long.
Yeah.
And so in the last like month and a half, I've probably started like 4 or 5 games and just haven't played them much.
Really touched them.
I think part of that is
I have a hard time with that too.
I'm not ready to do a full dive into a new game, a new like 40-hour game and just play it start to finish, which
can be hard to commit sometimes.
I feel like the older I get, the more I want to do it that way because I forget stuff really quickly. Like I'm not saying that I'm becoming like a
just because you're old
person or anything. It's just that
as you hit 30, it's like
if I don't touch a game for 2 or 3 months, I can forget
might
everything
as well you
that just
haven't played it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get like that if I didn't play it very, very long. Like I'll forget the controls very quickly if I haven't played it very much. Yeah, that's funny. So what have I been playing, you may ask? Well, obviously, Still playing Animal Crossing,
right?
Just like everyone else in the entire universe.
I mean, you've got to pay off that debt,
bro. I paid off my debt weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
I got no debt.
So when are you going to take out a new loan to buy more, to build more stuff?
Well, that's the thing. Until they release more stuff to buy, I don't have any big things. Right now, it's just keeping up the island and slowly renovating it.
How are your various rooms going in your house?
Rooms are much better.
Oh, okay. So there's been some progress there.
Because I gotta check the shops every day and stuff because it's like I might finally get the type of items I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And I had a 1 week span where I got super lucky. And every time I went in, there was a new arcade machine.
Oh, nice!
Like a different arcade machine. So I bought a different type of pinball machine than the one I had, and then I found it was like some sort of like Starfighter, arcade game.
Oh, okay.
So I got 2 of those, and then I got 2 fighting game arcade games, and then I also the next day I found a mahjong arcade cabinet.
Oh, nice!
Yeah,
cool.
of a mahjong. So
is it like the mahjong? It's like the mahjong solitaire.
Yeah,
thing?
no, it's like real. It's like,
oh, really?
Like Asian mahjong.
Oh, nice.
Because I saw the walls. It had the walls on the screen, and I was like, "Oh, that's like real mahjong." So we've played mahjong, by the way. That's we play mahjong. Yeah. So I thought it was really cool. So I ordered like 4 of those because I thought it'd be cool to like have it be like a up to 4 players thing. So I have a wall in my like basement arcade that has 4 mahjong machines, and I have the 4 other cabinets in the middle, and then like 5 pinball machines. It's like it actually looks like an arcade now.
Nice.
So, super cool. Love how that turned out. I'm still looking for a lot of kitchen equipment. Yeah, obviously.
And you've got like a tea room.
I do have a tea room that's done. That's beautiful.
Oh, nice. Cool.
I have a great kotatsu with the pillows to sit on, a great like table, shelves, tea sets, all kinds of stuff. So that one's done also. So I'm mostly working on. I'm looking for bookcases.
Yeah,
I've never seen a bookcase. Like I've seen them in other villagers' houses, but I have never seen one to build or buy. So I'm hoping for that soon because I'm building sort of like a cool, like classic study. That's all like dark wood, and I'll have a lot of books in there and stuff.
I've always liked the idea of having a study, but I'm not sure I'd really spend all that much time in there.
So like that's the thing. I've always thought that too. It'd be super cool. And April and I, my wife, for those of you who don't know, we've amassed so many books that I'm like, we could actually have a room in our house that's like a study or library.
Yeah.
Because like I could cover probably 2 walls with 4 bookshelves and fill them with books.
I managed to just barely stay down to 1 bookcase.
Yeah.
But I have almost enough to warrant a second one.
Yeah, we've exceeded 3. We have 3 and they're at max capacity. So we're thinking about like shelves and just doing something different. But we're also hoping to move soon. So I'm not putting up too much on the wall if we're not staying there much longer. So anyway, that's been fun. Animal Crossing's still fun. I just hit 50 days of talking to all of my villagers every day. So like
gotta socialize.
I know, yeah. So hitting every villager, making sure I said hi to them at least for at least 50 days straight now. So
yeah,
pretty insane. That's been fun. Also, the other game I've been playing that I'm almost done with, I'm in the last area of Metroid Prime.
Oh, right.
Yes. So that's a good game.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you, I now understand the hype around it.
I don't think I ever got past like the first 5 minutes of the game.
Exactly. It's like you get to Talon Overworld, which is like the green and rainy, cool area. And then like, I don't know, I always get lost and then I don't really try very hard. And in this one, I just like tried.
Yeah.
and so I'm now in the last area. I'm like, I don't know, 5 rooms from the last boss. I just beat the second to last boss, which is Meta Ridley.
Oh yeah,
who's like half metal at this point, and he wasn't very difficult actually. I think it was maybe just because I was strong enough and knew the game well enough to dodge well and stuff. But I thought the boss before him was actually a lot harder. There's this huge, Samus's main enemies are the space pirates.
Oh yeah.
And so there's this Omega pirate which is the boss before Ridley, and he's just absolutely massive. And he actually found to be way harder than Meta Ridley was. I don't know if that's true for everyone who plays this. I kind of want to look into that, but like mostly because it's one of those boss fights where he's huge, and then intermittently after you've like hit him a few times, he'll summon little enemies.
Oh yeah,
and those are always such a pain.
Yeah.
So it's like if I was just focusing on the big boss, it would have been a lot easier. But having like 3, regular space pirates, which still take at least like 2 fully charged blasts to kill, huge annoyance. And it was just my health was riddling down.
Those kinds of bosses, it's interesting how like sometimes it makes more sense to just completely ignore everyone except the main boss and just kill it, down it as quickly as possible. And then there are other boss fights where if you don't kill all the little guys, you will die. And just no.
I ended up doing like half and half.
Yeah,
I'd kill at least like one of them because he'd summon up to 3, which can pack quite a wallop. But yeah, once I got like at least one killed or something, and just like went nuts on the main boss, it went down pretty quickly. If you use enough super missiles, it'll go down.
It's funny. I know so little about the Metroid storyline and characters.
So I'm slowly getting more into it just from this. And because there's like a scanning feature.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm sure you remember that at least. And so I made it a point to try to scan everything, try to almost 100% the scan log, which I'm at like 92%. I'm near the end of the game. So I did pretty well, at least for my first time beating the game. And it reveals tons of lore and like really cool like enemy descriptions. And it's one of those games where it's sort of like Dark Souls in that you can get a lot of lore if you look for it.
Oh yeah.
Or you can just kind of ignore all the lore and just play the game. So, but I'm trying to actually get the lore and stuff. And it's definitely interesting. It's one of those like, it's like she goes to this planet and there's this ancient race called the Chozo. Which
I've heard the name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so that's very common in the Metroid series. And they're like so classic, like sci-fi ancient race people. Like it's like exactly what you've heard 1,000 times. Like weird advanced technology, and like they sort of have like this future sight and stuff. There's like, and they're sort of religious and sort of Egyptian-esque and stuff.
They like predicted everything that'll ever happen.
So like what they call the Great Poison came to the world Talon 4, which is where the game takes place. And they prophesied like a woman falling from the stars and saving the planet, basically.
Yeah.
Who is Samus. And so, but what's cool is her suit, the Varia suit and stuff, is actually like Chozo technology. And that's why you get upgrades throughout the world. Is like they even explain like they left like things for the future hero or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, if they can overcome tests and prove themselves, then we'll continually power them up so they can take on the whatever. So kind of interesting. At least they sort of explained why there's upgrades everywhere that only work for Samus.
Yeah. I like that.
But it was cool.
It at least shows some effort on the developer's part instead of just going, oh yeah, there are upgrades, because why not?
Because it's a video game.
Yeah.
So along with the Chozo stuff, there's also the current space pirates who are like trying to overtake this planet and like steal like this super powerful radiation type resource that they use to mutate and make stuff horrible. And then of course the Metroids are there also because why not? Because it's Metroid.
Can't have Metroid without Metroids.
But one of the coolest parts is like if you read all the logs and stuff from like the space pirate computers that are left, in places. It's just like all these tests they've been running and all this stuff. But then eventually, when you're nearing the end of the game, you'll read a log that's like the hunter is what they call Samus, and they're like, the hunter seems to be reading our logs.
Oh, wow.
We need to be taking better care of our data. Like, watch out for the hunter. Like, kill her on sight, basically.
Oh, wow.
So you're like slowly reading and going into the current time, and they're like, and then it's like they're like, oh, we've been running tests on the morph ball and trying to make space pirates with the morph ball because Samus can turn into a ball, and they're like, the tests have not gone well.
Yeah.
It's like they're just like
Just
trying
dead.
to crunch into a ball. Yeah. So it's really funny how they're like trying to figure out why Samus is so strong because they don't understand Chozo technology. So it's really cool how I don't know, the game's lore is really nice
Yeah.
and pretty solid first person shooter. And it's got have you played many Metroidvanias, games like that? I really differ them from platformers like the original Metroid and stuff.
Yeah, so they're like I've heard that term before,
Right.
and I
Obviously
vaguely
Metroid
know what it's
and Castlevania
referring to,
or where it comes from.
but yeah, they're
I feel like it's a genre you haven't touched much.
yeah, not really.
Yeah.
So like,
Because I'm more of the platformer person.
is Shovel
anyway.
Knight considered part of
Yes.
that?
I think it's fairly similar. That's more just platformer, almost more
Okay.
Mario-esque than Metroid.
And then like Celeste.
But Celeste is like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Ori and the forest. That's
'cause
definitely a Metroidvania.
I mentioned
a
those
lot of
'cause-
a lot of indie games
Yeah.
are Metroidvania.
I've mentioned those because I've just seen gameplay of them recently, so
Exactly.
I know.
So they're really popular in indie games and like good
I'm
indie games.
really bad at those kinds of games, so I
Yeah.
don't really play.
So
them
like
much.
I've barely scratched the surface of them. Like I've played more than you, obviously, but that's just because I prefer platformers more than you do in general. But they're very different from like a Mario or whatever.
Yeah.
I think the defining factor for me in a Metroidvania is like when you're going through an area where you know that's the way forward. You're like, this is the area I'm supposed to be in for the story, and you see an upgrade somewhere that's like just out of reach, and you're like, I really want that upgrade, but it's like, you know, an inch too high for you to jump to it. So you have to be like, okay, I need to remember whenever I get an upgrade to jump higher, I need to come back here and get this upgrade.
Yeah.
And then that happens over and over and over until you're trying to remember all, like, where was that hidden?
You have to like keep a
Dang, I have to
notepad
keep
next to
going
you,
back. Like you have to go back to like the original areas of once you've gotten, you know, 5 upgrades. And you're like, just to get like that energy tank upgrade or something.
Yeah.
And actually, I think later Mega Mans even do that, something similar, where it's like once you've beaten a boss and gotten their weapon, you can go back to this boss's level
Yeah.
and get like this weird upgrade or something, stuff like that. So it's trying to remember everything in every area all the time.
Yeah.
But I much preferred it in Metroid Prime in like a 3D environment.
Yeah.
I found it much more fun to like find things and less tedious than it is in like a 2D side scroller. So I'm excited to play more Metroids, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think it adapted from the 2D original Metroids to 3D really well. I'm pretty into it.
So a PC game I actually played not too long ago,
Whoa.
which
I
we're
don't play
like
PC
almost entirely console
pretty
gamers.
console
but
people.
so
Mostly because I don't have a good PC. But
I've got a new video card and I wanted to break it in. I wanted to see what its
Right,
limits
what'd you
were.
get?
So
some would be interested in that. So
oh yeah, so
lot
I
of
got an
people would.
NVIDIA GTX 1650. Not a very high end card, but so it replaced a
good.
lower mid range card from 2010. And
so quite an upgrade.
it scored 13 times higher on 3D Mark, so quite a bit better, quite a bit more powerful.
Quite a jump.
For less than the cost of the original card was
That's
in
funny.
2010.
That's crazy. How times change.
Which is why I bought it. Like I could, if all I wanted was max performance, I probably would have gone with something like an RTX 2060 or just one step below that, but that would have been hundreds of dollars, and this was
exactly.
less than 200.
And it's not like you're to be pro gaming or something.
Right.
So
I
or streaming
almost
even,
never
so.
play newer games on PC anyway. So I tried out Destiny 2 mostly because it was free, but also because everybody's
it's
talked about
beautiful,
Destiny
too.
and
I mean,
says it's great.
That's
So
a beautiful game. So
I tried it out, and I might play it a little bit here and there.
Yeah,
It
that's a fun
seems
one.
interesting.
it's pretty MMO-esque. Like there's rare weapons to find and there's raids and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to do, you know,
Yeah,
just to mess around with, so.
I'm not nearly as good at keyboard and mouse as I am with a
yeah.
controller when
Me
it comes
either.
to FPS games, which people always are like, but it's so
swear
much
by it,
better.
yeah.
And it probably is for you, but for me,
I mean, if you practice
it's
it,
hard
I'm
to
sure
get
it
a hold
is,
of.
but
And the thing is I have played plenty of keyboard and mouse games, so it's not something that I'm a total stranger to. Yeah. I've played WoW. I've played Team Fortress 2. I played.
Oh right, yeah, you played that for a while.
I had Portal on PC, so I played that. Gosh, there were a couple others. I played Counter-Strike for a little while.
Oh yeah,
like the old one.
Yeah. CS Classic is the good one anyway.
Yeah. And I think there were even a couple of others that I'm just spacing on right now. But so I'm not a total stranger to keyboard and mouse. It's just I'm not very good at it.
That's when I first played Borderlands 2. Was on PC actually, so it was fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I heard there's a new Paper Mario. So let's talk about that a little bit.
You knew we were going to talk about it. If you know us, you know we enjoy the Paper Mario.
All right. So since I just watched the trailer, I'll talk about my initial impressions, and then you can go into more detail.
Initials, yeah. Initial impressions. Just from the reveal trailer.
Yeah. So
that's all you've seen.
I'm getting strong vibes that it's going to be Paper Mario Sticker Splash 2.
Sticker Splash 2.
Or Color Star 2 if you prefer that. It definitely doesn't look like our classic turn-based RPG formula that we loved in the original and in Thousand Year Door.
Which is super surprising.
That is, I mean, yes, I didn't actually expect them to do a return to form and do a turn-based RPG again. I feel like it's just been too long since the series has been divorced from that mechanic for them to take that far of a step
There's now
back
been more games away from it than there was for it.
Right. And it's just been so long now.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect them to go back to that, but it
like
doesn't
100%.
It doesn't change the fact that it's a little disappointing that there's another new Paper Mario without that. That aside, it does look like it's probably going to be a fun game in itself.
I gotta say, the environments are some of the best looking that I've seen in that genre.
Like, it's definitely benefiting from modern technology as far as visuals go. So I think it looks cool, and it's probably going to be a fun game in its own right, but it falls flat as far as a Paper Mario title for me.
So what I think is interesting is most people are pretty optimistic about it from what I've seen just from comments and being in a Paper Mario Facebook group,
right,
and Twitter and everything.
Yeah, that was filling up my feed for a couple of days.
People are going nuts about it, and I like the generally optimistic attitude.
Yeah,
and a lot of people are just saying, "Let's wait to see more trailers and more exacts of gameplay and stuff," because it was very vague. The trailer, mostly showed
like
story.
A lot of people are hating on it even before it's come out. Which
there's always going to be
people do
like
that for every video game, but
What I think is interesting, so there's another video that was Japanese only for a long time. That was just a battle.
Oh, yeah.
A full battle. It was all in Japanese.
Which that's actually very revealing.
Yes. And they just today, I think Game Explain or someone similar posted the English version of that video. And I watched it just an hour ago. And you remember from the trailer, the circles?
Yeah.
It was and you spin enemies in front of you. So there's that, obviously, which I love. There's been a lot of great comments that are just saying, I mean, you asked for a turn-based RPG. You wanted turn-based battles. Here you go. Which I thought was quite funny. But the good things about what I saw was when he went to attack, the options were boots and hammer. And those were not consumable stickers.
Yeah.
Like in Sticker Star and Color Splash. Those were just attacks you could do, which was much more like an RPG.
Yeah.
And there was turns. There really was turns. I think the enemies moved, and then the screen said Mario's turn, and your menu popped up.
Oh, okay.
So it was much more similar, at least less platformy than some of the earlier ones were. And then he did a combo on enemies. They didn't show an XP given at the end of the battle, but they didn't really show the wrap up of the battle anyway.
Yeah.
So that could still be possible. sort of doubtful.
I did see a lot of people talking about it. Looks like the only reward is coins.
Yes, that's what it seems like as well. Obviously, there's no FP or anything like that, and there was just HP, but that does level up some way. So we'll see how that works. I'm hoping for badges, or at least something very similar to badges. But again, who knows? The other good thing I noticed was I saw more screenshots that weren't in the trailer, and in every area, Mario had a different Bowser enemy behind him.
Yeah,
And so most people think they're at least similar to partners, but not exactly, because obviously they're generic enemies and don't have special names or anything. Hopefully they might have good personalities in text, but and they didn't show any partners in battle either. So it's like almost like they sort of went back a little bit, but not at all. But also not in the slightest. So again, I kind of agree with other people where I'm like, I'm very interested to see more footage and more stuff.
I'm guessing that I'm not going to really care about playing this game, just because it's not close. It doesn't look like it's going to be close enough to the original for me to really care.
To spend $60 on it.
It kind of makes me wish that they had just branched off and had the Paper Mario series turn into what it has, where it's more of an action game that's with a paper aesthetic, and then had the other branch just be a Mario RPG.
Yeah, because the company that made the Mario and Luigi series is gone now. They stopped being a company, and so there's no Mario RPGs right now. Yeah, they just don't exist, which is so sad.
And because I think there's a decent amount of demand for a Mario RPG.
There really is. So I think it'd be really shocking if they didn't do something with a Mario RPG of some sort. But I don't know. So I didn't buy Color Splash or anything, obviously.
Right.
But this one, I guess sort of depending on what comes next, I think I might at least play it. At least buy it and try it. Because there is some interesting things, and I don't know. I might actually play this one.
If I was going to play a Paper Mario game post Thousand Year Door, it would be this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's promising. Better than Color Splash or Super Paper Mario.
Yeah. You might want to try the Mario and Luigi games if you haven't, because I know you haven't really played them. They're fun RPGs. And they're really easy to emulate.
Yeah.
Especially the first few. Some of the DS ones are harder to emulate because of the touchscreen and stuff. But the first one, the Superstar Saga, which was a GBA game, really good game.
I've actually got a decent DS emulator that I've been playing Pokemon Diamond on. So,
also the carts aren't even really expensive, so you could probably just get one for your 2DS. But anyway, So that's my thoughts. I just want to level up as Mario.
Yeah. We just want star points back.
I just want star points and partners and badges. That's okay. We'll just play Paper Mario. Yeah. So the other thing with that is, a new Paper Mario has been rumored for a long time, and it came out with the same people who were rumoring a remake for, or at least an HD remaster for 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy in like a pack. So there's even more like behind that. Like this could really happen.
That sounds a lot more intriguing to me.
Awesome! Oh my gosh, I like. That's like a lot of people said that's too good to be true. Yeah, and it's kind of true. Like why wouldn't they release that? It would sell so well. Yeah. Like everyone would buy that.
I think sometimes
I'm really hoping for it.
Japanese game manufacturers, just as a whole, just in general, underestimate just how much, especially the American audience, wants to relive their childhood and play old games with new skins.
For real. Especially on Switch, there's not much of that. Yeah. Like there's the NES and SNES, online stuff. Yeah. With some games, but like that's it.
I mean, if the classic editions of the NES and the SNES told them anything.
Yeah, for real. The insane demand for those. Yeah. So, hoping. Yeah, they've said they have more, a lot more announcements that were going to be for E3, obviously, that are not because of the obviously the Backstreet Boys reunion tour is really put a dampening on the whole world.
Yeah.
So that's a Game Grumps joke that that's what they've been calling this.
I see.
It's the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, which is also real. So I don't know if you want to.
So like Nickelback concerts look exactly the same as they always have.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
just
same
no
thing.
one there.
Yeah, slightly more face masks, but that's about it. That's about it. Oh, speaking of remakes, you didn't watch the trailer, but Tony Hawk,
Right.
bro, Tony Hawk's coming back,
Yeah.
like completely.
Which we just talked about a couple
I know.
episodes ago, but yeah.
I thought that was so funny. So a trailer came out, reveal trailer for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, like 1+2 remake. And so, yeah, it's the first two games totally remade in like super HD graphics and like, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. But like, I wasn't that excited about it until they showed that all the same skaters, like vintage skaters now who are all old, are still in it. Same characters. Same board designs plus more because like I recognize all those board designs. It like was so much nostalgia from
all
that
the
trailer.
same maps.
And all the same maps,
Dude.
totally remade, and not even that, the same music,
Yeah,
like the
which was one of the
classic,
best parts of the game.
like grunge and punk and ska music from the originals. That was awesome. Which like opened up my mind to music a little more because of that game.
Yeah.
So I'm like really excited about that just because it has so much of the original stuff in it.
I wonder how awkward it'll be to play on a new controller.
Not on an N64 controller.
Because so the controls were a bit awkward for that game because you had to use the C buttons almost exclusively.
Quite a bit, yeah.
And the way I would hold it was I had my thumb on the down button and my index finger curled up over the top of the controller on the up button so that I could grind easily.
So funny.
And so it'll be interesting to see what
I remember you doing that.
button combo will be.
Yeah.
Actually, it would be really nice if like the grind button was a trigger.
Yeah,
That would be way easier
great.
on my fingers for
That'd be
one
great.
thing.
They do have a lot more buttons on a new controller, so hopefully that'll be pretty smooth.
Yeah.
I'll probably get it on PS4. I
Yeah.
think it's coming out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, I believe is all. So
If I got it for my Xbox One, that might help justify having my
one?
Xbox One
Yeah,
because
because
I
you
still
don't
only have two
you
games
don't
on
play
it.
yeah. So funny. So we were pretty heavy 360 people.
Oh yeah.
But when the one came out, I was like, I'm not going to buy that.
So neither of us owned a PS3 or really played one
never a
at
PS3.
all.
I've
and
never
we
owned a
had a
PS3.
Wii, but I almost never
I liked
played
the
it.
Wii, but yeah.
And like and you definitely played it a lot more than me. But how many titles did you even really own on it? Maybe 5 or 6?
8.
Oh, you did
I
have
still
8?
own 8.
Oh, okay.
So, at least. I tried a lot. That was back in the day when you could rent video games.
Right.
But yeah, there weren't a lot of titles I was like really into. So
Because like we had Brawl, we had
pretty much none of my favorite games are on the Wii. So I mean, yeah, it's not my favorite
WarioWare.
console.
Was that on that?
Smooth Moves, yeah.
Smooth Moves was.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And then the Wii Fit game.
Wii Sports and all that.
Yeah.
Skyward Sword was on there.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I do enjoy that.
That I remember now.
Super Mario Bros. Wii was okay.
Yeah.
Mario Kart Wii was okay. Not my favorite Mario Kart.
Was Super Mario Galaxy?
Yeah. Galaxy and Galaxy 2.
Oh, okay.
Were top.
They were both
pretty
on
top for me.
Yeah.
I think those two, Donkey Kong Country Returns and Skyward Sword were my top and are still my top Wii games, I would say.
Yeah, I don't think other than Brawl and whichever Mario Kart game was for the Wii
Mario
that
Kart
I
Wii,
really
yeah.
even played the Wii. I used
true.
it to
I don't
play
remember,
GameCube games sometimes.
Definitely, yeah.
But then when we got one stuck in our Wii,
Yeah, that was
For a while,
That was interesting. We got
we-
Sonic DX stuck in our Wii,
yeah, and we eventually got it removed. We took it to a shop, I think, and they took it out for us.
and then it was never an issue again, which was interesting.
Yeah, but I personally never put GameCube games back in one ever after that.
we did just buy a dedicated GameCube eventually, which I still have that GameCube, so
Yep.
still works quite well.
Yeah. So speaking of Mario and Nintendo, we wanted to talk about Mario Party.
Oh,
Because it's not a game that we've really talked about much so far.
That's
and it's
true.
a game we've both played a lot.
Kind of a lot. A lot.
Yeah. So I got Mario
kind of a Mario Party
Party
fiend, personally. So
I got Mario Party when I was either 11 or 12. And I'm pretty sure I got it for my birthday.
First one. Original.
Yes, the first one.
Awful game. Great, but awful also.
Yeah. I mean...
a great game that's awful. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, but also it was incredibly frustrating. And it was one of those games that made you hate people.
Oh, yeah. Which is Mario Party's classic for doing that.
Yeah.
But the original was pretty especially ruthless.
Yeah. Oh, and the computer players were absolutely
Insanely
ruthless
good.
and
Good.
way better than you.
Yeah.
Even on the lowest difficulty,
good.
they were always way better than you were.
Yeah.
They always got more stars. They
The game
got more
bowed
coins.
to them.
And anytime there was a 1v3 and they were the one, you were screwed. Like, just give up.
Yeah. Too good of AI, for sure.
And then sometimes the games felt so long. I remember doing a 50-turn game.
Oh, my gosh.
It was
so
like playing
long.
a game of Monopoly or Risk.
It was
It's
like
just
5
so
hours
long.
at least.
Whereas a 20-turn game can sometimes seem too short. It's weird.
It really depends. It's like 40 minutes up to an hour.
Yeah.
But it depends, yeah.
And it was one of those games. So I really wanted to be the best of my friends at every video game I owned, and sometimes
what kid doesn't?
Yeah, sometimes that was the case, and I was really good at the mini games in Mario Party.
Yeah.
After a while, I really got good at them, and then Mario Party 2 came out, and it felt like it didn't really take very long between those two releases. It was like really
the
quick.
first one must have been fairly popular. Yeah.
And Mario Party 2, it's a little more fun.
That's
I
the
think.
one, man. That's like a lot of people agree too. That's like one of the best. Absolutely.
Like I think the maps were a little.
The maps are good.
More interesting.
Good game variety too. The mini games are still really hold up in that game.
Yeah.
And we're still both like kind of masters of those mini games.
Yeah. So
Like,
we've still
I
got
know
like the
all
muscle
of
memory
those
for some of those.
Yeah. I know all of those mini games very well.
And it's funny, on our Mario Party 2 cartridge, we have everything unlocked. So every time we play a game, we just
we
have like
amass
20,000 coins that we
least.
can't spend on anything because
we've
we've already
bought
bought
everything.
everything in the game.
It's really funny. I love seeing them go into that rainbow bank, and you're just like all that useless gold we're amassing. I would like just doing. There's that weird like garden where you can play mini games. There's like the colored trees.
Yeah.
You know.
And whenever
so
you pick
funny.
one, you go inside its mouth
Yeah, and he's
to
like,
start the game.
We always did a sound effect. Like, gosh, I loved all those. I feel like one of the unbeatable ones for me was the fiery jump rope.
Oh yeah.
I'm like the master at that game.
Dude,
we
would
like if it was me
compete.
and you, we
Yeah.
could do that all day. The timer would usually we would draw it often.
Yeah.
The timer would just run out because that when you get that timing down, you can just do it all day. That's so fun. What were some of your other favorite mini games from that? You liked Hexagon Heat a lot.
I liked
Or at least I
Hexagon
did.
Heat, which had a different name in the first game because it was water.
But
And
the
then
Heat one was much cooler.
Crazy Cutter.
Oh,
I
the Cutter.
loved Crazy Cutter.
Yeah, that's like you're on like a jackhammer or something. Yeah, and you're like trying to outline perfectly. That was so janky.
Yeah.
But like, I think you did this too. I would like hold the control stick with my index finger and thumb
Oh yeah, yeah.
to get more precise movements out of it.
Treat it like a
Yeah.
pencil.
Yeah, yeah. That one's so fun. I like the bouncy ball one too, the bumper balls or whatever.
The one game, yeah, Bumper Balls
Yeah.
are great. The one game that seemed like it was just impossible to win if you were the one versus the three is the Piranha Plant Chase.
Plant.
So there's a piranha plant that chases after you, and you are on a skateboard and you're trying to get away from it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the other three are on a cloud that it's raining on
Yeah,
the
oh my
on the
gosh.
piranha plant, and you can ground pound to increase the amount of water coming out
to make him like
to make
faster
it
and stuff.
bigger and faster.
Yeah,
I have never
impossible.
seen anyone win that game.
Yeah. Impossible. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one of the ones. And then like I feel like it was like a really issue in the earlier Mario parties where the 1v3s was like either you're guaranteed to win or you're guaranteed to lose.
Yeah,
being
they
the
were
one
very
person.
one-sided.
Very one-sided. Like the electric roller that you could change the directions of as the one person.
Oh yeah, dude.
I mean, as the one person, you're gonna win that mini game. Like,
yeah. What's weird though is when you didn't win and you're just like, how?
Like, how? You're a god.
Your feet are made of glue.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but when there's like computer players down there, it's like it takes 2 seconds to win. It's so easy. Another skateboard. There's a lot of skateboard ones now that I'm thinking about it. I like the one with the boo.
Oh yeah, the skateboard scamper. I think it's called. You. But yeah,
that one was fun. I always enjoyed. You just had to like mash right to go faster.
Yeah,
something like that.
And then the Bowser balloon thing where you have to like hit A and B alternate, and
but
you
like
have to get
right
it like
rate.
at a rhythm.
Yeah, like you can't go too fast. It was interesting to find rhythms and not just doing it as fast as possible. I kind of like that they didn't make everything just go as fast as you possibly can. Yeah. There was another weird one too. There was like a bunch of wind up Shy Guys.
Yeah.
And you had to hit A and B at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Really fast. That was an interesting motion too.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the game that made us good at mashing buttons.
Yeah.
But like having to like smack your thumb basically on it is what I did.
Oh, I just use my index and middle finger
both.
and just
that makes sense too.
Way.
Yeah, I found that simpler.
And then Day at the Races where you bet on who's
totally
going to win.
So
between
random.
Boo, Womp, and
a Bob-omb.
Bob-omb.
Yeah. That one was interesting. You always feel like you're like, this is the one. This guy's gonna win, even though it's totally random. It means
like
nothing.
betting on horse races, but
it means nothing. I tended to go to Boo for that.
It seemed like he won a little more often than everybody else.
It feels like it. That's probably why I went for it every time. But then every once in a while, Thwomp would win, and you're like, how did Thwomp win? He's so slow. Yeah. Good times.
Mario Party 3. We rented it one time, and I beat me, and I just
enjoyed it.
Rage quit and never played it again.
You hated it.
I
like,
just hated it.
This is garbage.
I still don't I still refuse to play it ever again.
Yeah. I think that was the first game where with Waluigi.
Yeah.
I think that was Waluigi's debut.
Yeah. Mario Tennis also.
Yeah, I
think Mario Tennis might have had him first, but I'm not sure.
It's definitely one of the two. Yeah. Yeah, I barely remember. I mostly remember the pipe board.
Yeah, so
there's a bunch of pipes everywhere.
There were pipes that were like shortcuts, and then you could have like a piranha plant in front of you to attack other players if you caught
it felt like a very experimental Mario Party game.
Yeah. And then there was Mario Party 4, and I don't really remember it at all.
I don't recall 4 very well either. I hear people like 4, but I never really played it that much.
5 had the Star Spheres from Paper Mario.
Did have the Star Spheres from Paper Mario.
Automatically gave it my seal of approval.
This game's great. The main menu's Star Spirits.
But also, it kind of felt like it was a return to form for the first 2 games. It felt a lot more like the first 2 games.
I think that is the general consensus that 5 is the best of the GameCube ones. Yeah. I would definitely agree. It's the only one for GameCube I still own. I still have 5. I really enjoyed the boards are good. Huge variety of sizes on the boards, which is nice. Yeah. There's a decent story mode even, which is kind of cool. Because like sometimes you want to play Mario Party and you have no friends, so you just got to do what you can.
In the first 2 games, it wasn't unusual to finish the game with at most 2 stars.
Right, definitely.
Whereas in the newest one, it is rare. Like if you only have 2, what are you even doing?
Yeah, what have you been doing? Yeah. What are you doing with your life?
You should be having like 5
it's quite
to
different,
10.
Yeah. I feel like in 5, the boards were really big.
Yeah.
At least some of them. Like I remember there's the underwater one in Mario Party 5 is massive.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the biggest boards in Mario Party. And it's like I got 1 star that game, lucky me type of thing. Like, yeah, really depends on the game. Or like the capsule thing in 5, the way they did items, because first of all, the capsule machine was really funny. I always do this thing where, like the capsule machine is like, and like spits it out at you. So I always go, bleh, and he spits out an orange. Quite enjoyed that. Yes, a lot of good mini games too.
I think in Mario Party 1, so there's that one board that's in the sky, in the clouds.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And the star never moves. It's always in one spot at the very top. And if someone, I think if I remember right, if you get a star, then the next person gets a Bowser star.
Oh,
and the Bowser star
yeah.
just like costs 50 coins and that's it.
And
you
like
just
hurts
get
you,
nothing
yeah.
out of it.
Jeez,
And
that's
like
so messed up.
and then after someone gets a Bowser star, it flips back to Toad. And so it just keeps revolving. And sometimes you're racing somebody to get to the star, and then they get the star, and all you can do is just get the Bowser star.
Just
Like
take
there's nothing
it.
you
Yeah.
can do to prevent it.
Ugh, that's so awful. Again, the earlier ones
So
were
punishing.
very
so
merciless. Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's one map in Mario Party 2 that I despise and refuse to play on.
Uh-huh.
And it's the like Stonehenge one
Oh yeah.
because it's just evil. Like the board changes constantly and like spins around.
Yeah.
And it's just completely up to chance.
Yeah.
And then there's spots that just teleport you around the map too. It's like there's nothing you can do basically to get the star.
Yeah.
Like you can't really work towards the star. You just kind of have to get lucky for it. And I kind of hate that. I like the chance of Mario Party, which is obviously an important part of it because it's a board game basically. But
I like the chance, unless you're talking about chance time, which is the worst thing anybody has ever thought of. Like, here, give all of your stars to this other player.
Everything was meaningless. The switcheroo.
It's like, I have 2 stars and 100 coins, and now this other player that had nothing has everything, and I have nothing.
It's like, sucks for you, bro. You just wasted an hour of your life playing this game.
The space map was my favorite in Mario Party 2.
Yeah, that one's great. Yeah. Had the big countdown timer in the center
for the Bowser layer.
Had a great sound effects. I like the Boo one too. The Boo's Mansion one. The Boo's Mansion
because it's got the big Boo that lets you steal like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Big Boo was scary.
I think that's the only one that lets you steal multiple stars.
And I like the pirate map too, pretty well.
That one's
not
all right.
bad.
It seems like you get shot back to the beginning a lot in that map.
It's true. That's true. The Bowser one was pretty good in that one too. Yeah. That one's kind of fun. The Bowser Parade level.
Oh yeah.
Just a nice grid shape.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, that was quite good. So do you remember playing Mario Party 8 on the Wii very much?
I think I only played it like once.
Yeah, so. I don't remember you playing it much because I actually really like Mario Party 8. That's up there as one of my favorites, honestly.
Yeah.
Some of the maps are really good. The mini games are pretty solid. Because I'm not one of those people that completely despises the Wii motion controls, like some people do. Some people are just like say the Wii is garbage purely on the motion controls, but
yeah, I think my thing for the Wii was that I wanted them to be really good, and they just weren't quite up to par.
The Wii U definitely improved on it.
Yeah,
having that plus the Wii Motion Plus and stuff.
And like, my thing is like, if the motion controls aren't like awesome, then I want to be able to play the game without any at all, and I just didn't have that option.
There's just no
choice.
So
I just had to use these kind of gimped. Yeah,
it's true. There's usually like some sort of trick to it, or like with enough practice, you get a feel for it usually. But yeah, it can be a pain sometimes. But a lot of the mini games did pretty well in that game. There's a similar one to the Cloud one you were talking about in it. There's I think it's, I don't know, like Goomba's Boardwalk or something like that. Maybe Paratroopa, something like that. There's like this map that's just a straight line with nothing, no curves or anything. And when you get to the end, you get a star for free.
Wow.
No matter what. So it really is just a race to the end. There is one spot near the end that'll send you back to the beginning. But there's only one spot, and it's fairly rare. But I really like that map. That's a really fun map to watch in like Let's Plays and stuff, which I've done quite a bit. That one's really fun. They also had an interesting one called like there's like a real estate one.
Oh yeah.
It's a board that's like a city, and you go to these hotels and you pay money into the hotel, and depending on if you have the most money in that hotel, you get 3 stars. It's a 3-star hotel and you own it. Actually, yeah, it's like the more money you put in, the hotel gets bigger. So if you put enough money, it's a 3-star hotel, and whoever has the most money in it gets all those stars. And there's like 4 or 5 different hotels along the map.
Oh, interesting.
So you have to pay money into the hotels to try to get to the highest rung so that you have the stars because you own the hotel. It was a very interesting idea and actually worked quite well. I actually kind of enjoyed that map.
That's interesting.
It was like a different take on Mario Party without, putting you all in a car and making you move all together. like in future games. Still felt like Mario Party is what I'm saying. So we skipped 9.
You weren't talking about Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm talking about Mario Party 9 and 10, which are pretty garbage.
Yeah.
9 is probably the worst Mario Party.
Yeah.
In my opinion. The new mechanics were just a terrible move, basically.
Yeah.
10 improved on it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
There was some parts where I enjoyed 10, but I bought it. I played it a couple times, and I never touched it again, even 10.
Yeah.
So, but let's talk about Super Mario Party.
Yeah, so that's the newest one?
The newest one.
That one's
Switch.
fun.
That is a good Mario Party. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people agree, which is nice, because hopefully then they'll keep that formula.
Uh-huh.
The sort of return to original. I think they greatly improved on at least the newer ones. I think it's cool that they kind of scaled it down a little bit. Like the boards are way smaller than in like the GameCube games or whatever. And you only have a D6 instead of a D10.
Yeah, and it's like that, it makes you more involved with the more fun parts of the map.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
There's less empty space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot more spaces do stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And the addition of character blocks is pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. And the partners and stuff. I feel like followers are a little too powerful.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a follower, you just suck, kind of. Like just them being able to add to your role like that can be pretty powerful. But
and you're always Shy Guy with your 4-4-4-4-4.
I am always Shy Guy. So that's actually my new like normal in most modern Mario games. I'm pretty much Shy Guy and everything. I've just taken a liking to him.
There was a little while where in Mario Tennis I played Shy Guy a lot.
Yeah. So I enjoyed him in the original, N64 Mario Tennis, which made me think like I want to try him more in later games. Uh-huh. And so by the way, we need to play Mario Tennis Aces on Switch. I have it, and it's really good.
Yeah.
And a lot more like the originals because you can do motion or you can do controller. And it has the same setup. Like A is the orange and like A and B is the purple. Like it's the same.
Oh, nice.
It's
cool.
the same as N64. So you might actually enjoy it. And a huge roster of characters.
Yeah.
Like every Mario character you could possibly think of is in it. Even like most enemies, like plain Kamek is, playable. Yeah. Like Pauline is playable. Like people like that. So anyway, we need to play that and we'll talk about it sometime.
Okay.
But anyway, I really enjoy the mini games too. In what's its face? Super Paper Mario. I love the fact that they're beautiful too. Like it is a crisp game. And one of the mini games is like, you remember the mini game that has like a cube of steak that's like searing in a pan, and you have to like use the Joy-Con to like flip the cube and sear each side. That's one of my favorite mini games. Probably just because I like cooking, but also I just love how like they did the sear texture really well on the steak. I'm like, this game is just beautiful.
Like
it's so cool.
Effort was way too high for this little game.
This is a beautiful steak. It's like what Cooking Mama wishes it could be. So yeah, that's really fun. I wanted to mention too. So there was a stint fairly recently, like within the past year, that I loved Mario Party. I don't know if you remember when we were able to hang out with people more often.
Right.
I'd like say we should play Mario Party a lot. And like we played with Ben and Kyle a lot and stuff. And like anytime if Andrew came over, I wanted to play Mario Party.
I just know we only played like a couple of times though.
I mean, between Super Paper Mario or Super Paper Mario, SPM is SPM is garbage. Super Mario Party. I had just a stint basically, just like even just a few weeks where I just like wanted to play it every day basically. And so I actually I have a notebook called Stats and Logs that I just called it. And I have pages that are just Paper Mario. Wow, all I'm thinking about is Paper Mario. Oh my gosh. I had a page that was just Mario Party games. and I put the date of the game, which game it was, what map we were on, how many turns, who played,
Oh wow,
and the end results of it,
uh-huh,
and like who won and stuff. Just for fun. I just thought it'd be fun. So I have records of like at least 10 Mario Party games, and I did win most of them. I'll just say, I'm one of those people. Okay, so like in Mario Party, there's one person the game just loves.
yeah,
Right? Like I feel like every group of friends has that of like just somebody who gets way too lucky in Mario Party.
yeah,
And it happened a lot more in 2 for me, I feel like, which I think you would even agree that I got stupid lucky in Mario Party 2. And even in future ones, I feel like I'm just like weirdly lucky with Mario Party.
yeah.
But I don't know.
That happened to me a lot when I was playing against just computer players. Although in Mario Party 2, not 1, because in 1
Yeah.
it was always a
Yeah.
computer player, and you were just clawing and fighting your way to maybe possibly win.
For real. But anyway, that's that.
Yeah, the one I know the one party game we played a lot with our friends was Kirby Air Ride.
Oh, yeah.
That's just like the perfect party
We'll
game.
have to talk about that more sometime. That is so good. City Trial, man. I would love a remake of just, or at least just like an online version or something of just the multiplayer.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool if they did that. It's like just being in City Trial again would be awesome.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. I like simple games that are easy to pick up. Yeah.
But like, not, I don't know, just having them, I feel like newer games don't do that as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of indie games that are meant for, large groups of people and party games and stuff. But it's not the same magic of like a Mario game. I think Nintendo just does that really well.
Yeah.
Speaking of, though, there's that game coming out, the Clubhouse Games 51,
Right.
which has all the board games in it. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
Because that has like really good games in it, including like Riichi Mahjong and
Yeah.
Koi Koi Hanafuda and like tons of different games. I think that'll be really fun.
Yeah. You'll have to get that, and then I'll play it with you, and we'll see how it is.
There you go.
And we'll let
Luckily,
the podcast listeners know how it is.
It's easy to multiplayer on a Switch. So there you go.
There you go.
That's coming out in June, I think, just next, which is
nice.
Not that far
Only
away.
a month away.
I feel like June is like when something says it's coming out June 28th or something, which I think is when it comes out. I'm like, it's so far away. It's like that's like barely a month away. Like,
Yeah.
So May's flown by just like April did.
Yeah.
April was just a blink.
I feel like
man.
time has been going by so fast during this quarantine. Like
What quarantine?
Like every day.
You mean the Backstreet Boys reunion tour?
Like every day. See how I didn't acknowledge that? Every day, I
Got him.
log in remotely for work, and then it's just I feel like it's over before I know it. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, gosh, I'm like waking up. I try to wake up by 7:30 just to have like time during the day. Sometimes though, if I don't get to bed early enough, I'll like sleep into like 8:30 or something. But and I'm just like it's 5 within a couple hours. It feels like it's just 5 o'clock all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane. Pretty insane. Brian, you want to end it off there?
Sounds good.
About an hour?
Yeah.
We at least made it an hour.
Sounds about good.
I'm going to finish Metroid Prime here pretty soon. I'll tell you how that final boss goes. Metroid Prime is the final boss. Can you believe that?
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know that was a character.
Well, there you go.
So there you go.
Oh.
Well, with that, all you beautiful listeners.
Just beautiful.
Just, wow. Look at you. I can't. I'm just looking at Brian. Staring intently.
Into his soul.
Into your soul, boy.
Thanks for
See you guys
listening.
later.